Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Origin Spotlight. I am your host, B. Zelda, and I'm joined by the talented and the incredibly important Cynthia Tuck. Cynthia, how are you today?
Hi, B. How are you? I'm doing well.
I'm doing fantastic.
Okay.
You have a lot of demoing and things to show us today, which I think is going to be incredibly valuable to a lot of people.
Well, we're going to show you ticketing today.
Yes.
You know, events are a big part of Origins, and we want to show you how to get your tickets so that your butt reserves that seat.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that because I know we've been reminding people for the past couple of weeks to look at the events, take a peek at what you think you want to register for. But now it's time to actually click the buttons and commit. So we want to show you what that's going to look like.
The 21st at 1 p.m., they're going to open and go live, and we're going to start selling them. I know a lot of people have been concerned because the events haven't been showing. Now, like 95% of the events are live and on the system, and you can see them.
Awesome.
So, and you can sort through them, and you can request a spreadsheet to get them.
Oh my God!
So
truly?
They're now up. We did a huge upload yesterday. And we'll talk about all that in a second. But so let's just get into it. And how do you get your events? So
where do we start?
You need to get to the Origins webpage. Okay. And let's show you some of these events before we move on. Just, we'll go back here, and it will be under the event schedule. This is where you see all those lovely, juicy events that we have. So it's all under the Origins webs, under the TTE Origins page, under Attend.
Okay.
There's the event schedule. So this is where you see them. Now, how do we get here, right? First, you go to TableTop.events and you log in. So this is their landing page, and you log in, and you will see what are my conventions. When you pick because we're assuming you have your badge. If you don't have your badge, you will have to find Origins Game Fair 2022 on the list. But that's easy to do. You can do it, find it, buy a badge if you don't have one. If you do have one, it should already be there, and you just have to click the link like me.
Perfect.
And then under Attend is events. And in the event schedule, you can sort by the start time, the name. You can sort it. You can sort a bunch of different ways this way. Say you want Wingspan. You can type in Wingspan.
Oh, that's so appealing.
Oh, when do you want to? What game of Wingspan do I want to do here? Do I care whether it's my GM? Do I care where it is? So it will give you a bunch of different things. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I don't want Wingspan. Maybe I want Wings of Glory. But anyway, so you can put in a key event. Do I want to sort by board games? Do I want to sort by card games? Because we have some nice card game events which still need to load into the system, but they will be up there before the 21st. Do we want to sort for miniature games?
Ooh, yes.
Am I only coming on Wednesday? Well, let me just see what's happening on Wednesday. Am I only coming on Friday? What time do I want to start at?
Oh, that's
my
so
time.
perfect.
So all these different ways you can find out. Say you really like, let me just kind of cut these
clear out some of these, yeah.
Let me just kind of go back to all events and all days. Say I want to go to a tournament.
These are the filters that I was going to ask
on
about.
The filters down here at the bottom. Yes, it's a tournament, and I will see more information about, is your event a tournament?
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that you can check. So you can check that. You do want to probably keep the number, the name, the type, the stats, want to keep that kind
your
of stuff.
Basic information.
Is it a workshop? Yeah, you want to keep.
Oh, you can search by GM. So if you know somebody is running a game, you can look up their name.
You can't. Well, you can use that as a keyword, but no. So it will tell you. Say you want Wingspan, but you want to. Let me know. But you want to know. Do you want or Wings of Glory?
Oh, I love that.
Do you want Carl's Wings of Glory, or do you want Jim's Wings of Glory?
Brilliant.
You want to see who the GM is? All you got to do is click it right there. So as you're looking at all the different events that we have, and we have a lot of events. Origin, it's a gaming convention. So we have role-playing games, we have board games, but there are so many other things besides for gamings that we have. We have seminars. We have very educated people. We have somebody giving
So
a
many good
lecture on the
people.
Ukraine. We
Ooh.
have authors giving lectures on writing and how to write better and how to publish. Things like that. Those are in there. And those you can find, some of those things you can find under event types and
I'll be looking for
seminars.
Cat Rambo seminars.
And they'd be under seminars, you know. There's things for our GMs, our special guests. You can also search for all that kind of thing. We even have Regency dance as events.
Oh my God, what?
We do. So I think it's under eclectic, but we even have Regency dance.
Oh, that's beautiful though.
If Bridgerton has been your jam, why don't you learn a few of the Regency dances? So, we have a ton of different things.
I've never wanted that more until today.
I know, really? I kind of looked at my schedule at that point in time too. I have to be at registration, but so a lot of our events are free. We've talked about that with the badge price, your event price is free. But you want that seat to be reserved for your name. So you want to buy the ticket. Even though the ticket is free, you want to reserve that ticket. So you're asking yourself, how do you do it? Yes. Right? So because our ticketing systems in Origins is not live, I have a test system. So I'm going to change conventions here for a second.
Perfect. And again, the 21st at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. That is when it's going live. Mark that in your calendar. Set reminders, set alarms.
So I've gone into our test convention with some test events. But so I'm going to go into our event schedule here with tests.
Oh, look at this.
And I am going to get test event 2.
Ooh, my favorite kind of test event.
Do I want to give it to a friend?
Oh, I love
which
that.
We're going to have to talk about in just a second.
Okay.
You can buy one badge for yourself, but you can buy for all your friends too.
Oh my
goodness. You have to be friends with them. And we're going to talk about that in just a second.
Okay.
But so I am getting a ticket for myself for this event. And I am going to check out and buy. I already had 2 other badges in there. It will not be yours until because all my events are free. So I have a little error here because I have 2 events for
what
the
did you
same
say?
thing. Exactly. So I had 2 test 3 events and they're both for Cynthia. So I would have to get rid of one of them.
If you want that other event, gotta get it for a friend.
So one of the things that you can't do is you cannot reserve overlapping events.
Oh, that's so smart that it won't let you do that.
I can't reserve Friday at 3:00 for 2 events and decide later what I want to do. That's not fair to the other attendees to keep that seat. Your butt can only be in one chair at a time. So choose which one sounds good for your tushy and reserve that event. Okay. But you can get for your friend. So let's go back here to the event schedule. And if you we're going to go into this one, you can give to a friend. Now, I don't have any friends right now. So I need to manage my friends. Okay. So you can type your friend's name. And I know Adam is on this call here and he is just waiting for me to friend request him.
Of course.
So I can type in his name and there is more than one of them. So, but no, we knew this. So I can search. Adam has given me his ID.
Cool.
So you want to be friends with people and you just click on it and send a friend request. Adam will approve my friend request and he will become one of my friends. So then, as soon as he approves that, when I go back to my So Adam is now.
Hey,
so when I
you got a friend.
My conventions, and we're going back into test conventions and event schedule. So now, if I want to buy this, you know what? I am going to go back here. Remember how it was test event 3 that I couldn't buy because it wouldn't let me? Well, I am now going to give it to a friend, and I am going to give it to my friend Adam.
So nice.
And so I am going to.
And your friend must have a badge for you to purchase tickets from them.
Must have a badge.
Makes sense.
I just hit the wrong. Sorry. So select a friend to receive the ticket. Tab.
Confirmed.
Yep. And buy more tickets. So you can get tickets for your friends. So you want to very important, make sure you have your badge or you know where the convention is.
Mhm.
If you have a badge from somebody else, like you are exhibiting or a GM and somebody has given you a code, and they said they have a badge for you, log into your account and make sure you can see Origins Game Fair.
Oh, that's
Make
a
sure
good
they
check.
gave before the 21st. Make sure you have your badge if you're supposed to have a badge. Make sure you can get to this page on your badge. Okay. And then you want to make sure because back here you can find out who your friends are. And
Mhm.
from this page, so you want to buy an event for all your friends? Fine, great. Make sure they're friends first. So before the 21st, I'm giving you some homework. Find your badge and become friends with your friends.
It's very easy to do, which I really appreciate.
So that
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's right there. Tabletop makes it easy. And
Mhm.
also one of the things, let's just kind of come back into, and we're going to go straight into Origins Game Fair. You have questions on buying a badge or getting tickets. Tabletop Events has some fantastic
Oh,
instructions
beautiful.
right here under Attend. So you don't want to rewatch the video because you're at work and you can't play a video, just kind of go to the buy a badge phase, and
Oh, beautiful.
it will give you fantastic instructions on how to do it. So Tabletop Events has some fantastic instructions. So we've talked about you want to find your badge.
Mhm.
We've talked about you want to find your friends and you want to
Mhm.
become friends with them, because you can only buy one event for yourself. You can buy more than one ticket, but you can only buy one for yourself.
Very
You
important to
also
note.
So one of the things that is going to come up is a waiting list. What you also need to know is if you sign up for anything called a waiting list, it is more of an email to let you know tickets are available. It is not automatically signing you on.
Oh,
It
that
will
is good to
send
know.
you an email saying, "Hey, there's more tickets available for this event." And they're now on first come, first serve.
Okay.
Okay. And we've talked about no conflicting times, that you can only you're behind in one spot at a time, so it will only let you reserve one at a time.
That counts for waiting lists?
Waiting lists
So
you can click because you don't actually have a badge.
and
So
I
you're good to go
okay.
on that. So
Okay. Thank
but
you.
but sometimes people hear waiting list and they think they will automatically get that ticket then,
That's what I would have
especially when
assumed.
there's no price.
Yes.
And but it's not. It is more of an email rush to get your ticket. You
Okay,
know,
yes.
so getting tickets is incredibly easy. Tabletop Events again has fantastic instructions on how to buy tickets, how to buy for friends. They're right there if you want to review them again on your own time. Maybe they have a different perspective on how, talking about it. So the last thing I want to talk about is, what if you have one event you want to go to
Mhm.
and you don't want to come to the convention if you can't get that event?
Oh,
Which
I never
becomes very
considered that.
well. We have a couple of card game tournaments happening,
Mhm.
and people don't want to. They really, that's all they want to come to, and we have a
Aw.
special card badge for them that they only want to come to this. So it's a special badge, and that's fine. Let's come back here to home and to buy a badge.
I had no idea that was a thing. Oh my goodness.
We have a special card
Ah,
badge.
that is so cool.
If you have the badge, I am assured that this happens because I already had a badge. I couldn't get a second one, but I have talked to TTE, and TTE assures me that if you have the badge in your cart, you can check the badge and the event out at the same time.
Oh,
You
cool.
cannot get the event without the badge. So since we open at 1 p.m., maybe get the badge in your cart at, 10 to 1. and then go in and so that you're ready to get your events. So you can check them both out at the same time, but you won't be able to get that event without the badge in your cart.
That is a fantastic option. I really like that though. But it's, yes, y'all do not forget, get this badge in your cart. And then
right.
May 21st, 1 p.m.
Absolutely.
Eastern Standard.
And you want to make sure you found your badge. If you know you have one, get your badge found in the system.
Perfect.
So that's important because we have people who have especially, you know, people like GMs and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
GMs, volunteers, exhibitor helpers, that they have been given a badge. And we all make mistakes. Not all the badges have arrived correctly. I have had people email me that have made a mistake on their email address. So the badge has not showed up in the right email account. So you want to make sure that your badge is there.
Okay.
Before the 21st. If you're supposed to get one, make sure your badge is there before the 21st.
This is good homework. Make sure you have your badge. Make sure
you found your friends.
Information. Make sure you add and find your friends. Like, just get as set up as possible. I do really want to add quickly, if I may. I know, as somebody who's gone through like a handful of conventions, I sometimes get my heart really set on like one specific game with like a very specific GM at a very specific time. And if you don't get it, it feels like the end of the world, but it is not. If you don't get the exact spot that you're looking for, despite all of these precautions, there are so many amazing board games. There are so many amazing GMs. There's just going to be so many fantastic events that if you don't get the exact tabletop game you want, that might be a chance to try something new.
Or you can also go and see maybe somebody who had the ticket didn't show up and you can have their spot. So you can see where that event is. And if the event hasn't been sold out or isn't or somebody didn't show up, maybe you can get that spot still.
I love that. So how would that work? You would just go in and check out the table in person?
You would just go to where the table is and you would. So, and if some of our events are the premium events that do have a charge, and you would need generics for those. Generics from 2021 and the round plastic generic tokens are still good in 2023. No, 2022.
Yes.
It's the last year they're good. After 2022, they become souvenirs.
Use your generic tokens this year.
Use your generic tokens from 2021. Right. Generic tokens from 2020. No, the years in the COVID.
It all blends in.
It does. The plastic tokens are still good. The paper generics are not good.
Oh, good.
Those were not rolling over to another year.
Okay.
But we are still accepting the plastic generic tokens. Or you can buy your event and pay for it, or you can get paper generic at the convention. So you can also buy some generics in advance if you want to in the system, and they're, but you can also buy them at the convention. You can come up and buy generics at the convention. So, but those will not be good for another year.
Okay. And to buy generics this year, that would be after May 21st, right? Those would be available? Okay.
After May 21st. Yeah. So it means buying tickets is going to be easy, so make sure you reserve your events. And if it's sold out, go check out the table. And if the table isn't available, check out one of the many other awesome events.
Seriously,
we have
the list you went through?
5,000.
Oh my gosh, 5,000 events?
So, yes.
That is so wild. You can't not say there's not. Oh, that was too many negatives. There's not nothing to do. Still too many negatives, but you get the idea.
And that does not even include the board game library, which is available to everybody who has a regular badge. So it's not available to the people with the card badges, but for everybody else, it's built into your badge price. You can go get a game out of the library and play whatever game you want to there. They have thousands of games in the library.
I encourage you to try something new.
To do.
Oh gosh, yeah. Something bright that catches your attention, or dark and creepy. Like, what I love about a board game library is just, it's an opportunity to learn something fun and exciting. And I live and die for that.
There's so many different things. And let's not forget the costume contest that happens over the course of the
Yes.
convention. We have special guests. We have the author area. We have the author alcove where you can go
Yes.
in and meet some authors. There's the anthology for
Oh
this year
my
that's being sold.
goodness.
So
It's
each
going to be
one
so
has
good.
put a little, we have so much going on. So
I can't wait. And like GDEX, like there's going to be tournaments, non-stop things to check out.
we didn't even touch on GDEX. There's so much GDEX is doing.
Right?
It's going to be so many things going on.
I do have one final question before it leaves my brain. I wanted to ask. Heck. Nope. Left my brain. Couldn't have been that important. I guess finally, let's just reiterate the homework that we wanted to give folks. Make sure you have your badge. Find your badge. Get your badge information. Find your friends. Add your friends. Peak events. Really make sure you have your whole weekend planned. I don't know how to do that, and I can't expect anybody else to do that, but get a good idea of like the events that you want to try. And then on May 21st, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, when they go live, get the things that you want. Go ahead.
I do want to show you one other thing that we talked about. Remember how we talked about the spreadsheet?
Yes.
Here's the schedule of events right here, schedule CSV. Ooh. If you hit that button, it will give you a spreadsheet of all the events, and you can sort it however you want to. I know I like to say, I love a good spreadsheet. I like to take my spreadsheet, sort it, throw out the stuff I know I don't want, keep the stuff, sort it by time, highlight, so you can get a spreadsheet right there.
Oh, I love that. That's too much power for me. I would never leave.
We had talked about it, but we forgot to hit the spreadsheet. So I wanted to make sure where people could find their spreadsheet.
Oh, that's so perfect. And then finally on the list of homeworks are plastic generic tokens are accepted this year, and this is the last year in which those can be used. There are generic tokens that will be available to buy on May 21st or at the convention itself, but those will be paper. So just remember that your plastic generic tokens must be used this year.
Right. So and the paper ones, you want to really make sure with so many of our events being free, really take a look at the schedule before because I don't want you to go, they're not going to be good in 2023. So don't go all in on generics when most of our events are free. Make sure you want the handful. You know what I mean? Well, I'd rather people be happy and come and see me buying more than be unhappy because they bought a bunch of generics that they didn't have a use for because we made so many things free and a part of the convention. I'm a big fan of free. So
yes, my favorite word. No, that is fantastic. Cynthia, do you know, I did remember my question. Are there any VIG tickets left?
There are a few left.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. There are still a few left, and you can log on and purchase them. Not a lot, but we do still have a few left. Yes.
Okay. And for those who are unfamiliar, that is our very important gamer, where you get access to a VIG lounge, VIG swag. Our guests will be popping in and out. It's
sponsored by Arcane Wonders.
Thank you. So it's just something that if you have the opportunity, oh my gosh, get that, because you're not going to want to miss what it comes with.
Absolutely. But even if they can't, the full show badge gives you the full experience, gives you a wonderful experience as well. Just come and get some experience.
Yes. All right. This has been fantastic, Cynthia. Is there any other homework that we think we should
I think
dole out?
I think that's find your friends, find your badge. That's some pretty good. Check out the event list. More events will be entering. So
all right, fabulous. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Now up next to talk with me, I do have John Stacy, who is going to talk to us about some of
everyone.
Bye, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
John, well, how are you today?
Hi.
Why don't you...
I'm good, B. It's good to see you again. How you been?
Yes. Oh, my gosh. I've been fantastic. I'm really excited.
It's been a long time since we saw each other last, I think. I was like on the first one I think we had this season. This time just flew by.
Oh my goodness. It's actually been quite some time. It was at the beginning of Origin Spotlight for this year, and now we're basically at the end.
3 weeks to go. We're almost there.
I'm so excited, but there's going to be so much going on. It's that like anxiety anticipation feeling. I always have so much of that right before a convention.
Absolutely. Me too. Yeah. I mean, we just counted the days down here. We had a meeting today with our show decorator and about moving the exhibitors and just all the pieces, parts of putting the show together. So it's coming together.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So you have a couple of announcements that you would like to share. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. The first thing I just want to thank everybody who has signed up to run games this year. As Cynthia said, we have over 5,000 events this year. We could not do it without our volunteers and our GMs who are coming in to run the games for us. And those are all volunteer people. And so we want to thank them as well as thank our volunteers who are also coming to help support our staff. And there's only 6 of us full-time and a couple of part-time contractors. So we're not a very big team, but we do a lot of help from volunteers, and we do appreciate that. We also put out a newsletter earlier today. We update our safety protocols for the show. Mm-hmm. People know that, as you know, 2 weeks ago, we made an announcement about dropping the mask mandate for the show because there's no mask requirement locally. We still are doing the vax requirements, of course. Mm-hmm. But based on feedback we received from our exhibitors and from our GAMA members, we're a nonprofit. And so we're very responsive to our members, as well as from our GMs. I had some concerns about the idea of dropping masks in a environment like a gaming convention. Mm-hmm. We've revisited that, and we will be requiring masks now for the show. And so people have been asking, is this a final policy? Yes. Until through Origins 2022, masks will be required, as will be vaccination requirements. And we think it's just the best way going for safety for the show. And so, it worked well last fall. We had Origins in October, and now we're back in June, and we're going to be doing it again.
Fabulous. So let's say I, for one reason or another, I managed to miss this announcement. I show up to the convention, I'm vaccinated, so I'm able to prove that status. Will there be somewhere where I could access like a disposable mask?
Yes, we are definitely going to have disposable masks available for people who forget theirs or lose them or whatever. So Perfect. They don't have to run back home and all that sort of thing too. But I mean, obviously we don't have a lot of them, but we have enough to people. And we would bring a couple masks with them for your friends to share. Just make sure it's a clean mask you give to people. You're not just passing them around because it kind of defeats the whole purpose, doesn't it? No, we don't need communal masks. But we encourage you to have disposable masks for the show. And again, this is in the convention space. So it'd be in the exhibit hall for sure, the seminar rooms, the meeting spaces, the event spaces, the open gaming, and the main concourse. Obviously, when you go back to your hotels or go to restaurants, they don't have mask requirements. But that's where we are as a city. And so, but we do let you know. But if you're on exact Origins property, you'll have to have a mask.
Okay. Perfect. No, that's not hard to follow at all. And especially I really do love the idea. If you as an individual are going to bring some masks, bring a whole pack of disposables, because I guarantee one of your friends are going to be like, oh no, my strap broke. So help them out. It's very easy to do. And we just want everybody to be as safe as possible.
Absolutely. And if anything else, at least helps keep the con crud down, right? I know I went to a couple shows last year. I didn't get sick at all. I'm wearing my mask. So I was thankful I didn't have the usual thing you would get from hanging out with all many people for so many days. So I think it's just, it's a prudent thing to do. And we'll be requiring masks.
I love that. There's going to be hand sanitizer stations everywhere. And I love a good handshake, but I have had to learn the hard way that especially at conventions, handshakes are maybe not the best. So fist bump sanitizer, elbow bump, maybe just a really enthusiastic hearty wave. There's a couple of adjustments that is always just kind of but if you come home healthy, you don't feel icky at all, I think it is absolutely worth it.
Absolutely. And I think it's just about being mindful of other people at the show. I know that part of it is a lot of us have been isolated for the last couple of years. Just getting back in the space of people, it can be a little overwhelming at times. And so just remember, everybody's there to have the same fun that you are. And so please be respectful of people. We don't need people to be the mask police and all that sort of stuff. People know what they need to do and they'll do it. People are by and large want to have a good time. Yeah.
How is that going to be handled?
I hate to use the term mask police, but if you have any problems, issues, please reach out to a volunteer or to somebody as a Gamma volunteer or an Origin shirt on. We'll be moving around. Or if you're in a game, talk to the game master. They can connect with staff or volunteer that way too. If you feel uncomfortable, whatever, make sure you reach out and ask somebody for help. Don't take the need to be that enforcer yourself, because we don't need you to do that. We just want you to come and have a good time. If a problem, reach out to one of our staff people or one of our volunteers.
Okay, that is a brilliant policy, and I think that really needs to be enforced. And I do want to reiterate to folks, like, you don't need to tell somebody else that, like, maybe their mask is under their nose, because we will have staff to help out with that. And I think that is a much safer way to go about it, because we do want, I don't want conflict for anybody, and I want everybody to have fun and be safe. And I think that is the best way to go about that as well.
Right. And then, there are some areas that are designated for people to eat at. Out in the concourse, there's a little restaurant there. And of course, the food court over in the lower level of height. Yep. Obviously, when you're eating, we understand you can't wear a mask while you eat. That's harder to do. So we understand that. But also people walking around, holding a drink in your hand, please be mindful, people, be respectful, and don't do that. Just if you're not actually drinking and eating, just have your mask up.
I'm a big fan of like the straw under my mask every now and then. It works. Again, not reduces my own personal safety a little bit, but it's a nice quick way instead of having to pull my mask up and down the whole time.
I flew to New Orleans a couple of weeks ago I took a local vacation. I wear my mask on the plane. I'm eating my M&Ms, under the mask, one by one, So
you make it work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, that's fantastic. Have there been any questions or concerns about folks that you could share with us?
So a couple of things. We did create an FAQ. It's on our website, and it also was an announcement that went out. And so people ask, I'm not happy with this. I bought a badge. Can I get a refund for this? And so, yes, if you bought a badge between April 29th, we made the announcement, and today, which is May 17th, you can get a refund. Okay. Obviously, if you bought a badge before that, you were already under the old policy for people to wear masks. So, we can't play lawyer ball here on that. But if you did buy your badge between the period of April 29th and May 17th, you can get a refund. You just have to email support@gamma.org. Let us know about that. And you will get 100% of your money refunded. Gamma's going to pay for the credit card fees for that. I know there was some concern last time when we dropped the mask requirement about we were charging a 10% fee, which covered our credit card fees. Because, we got charged a fee when people bought their tickets for 5% and then 5% to pay back. And so we're a nonprofit, it's really hard for us to absorb those costs. And so we were just passing them along to people. People get upset about that, and we understand that. And so we want to avoid that. So we will make sure you get 100% of your money back for if you do that. And so, as I mentioned earlier, people ask, is this going to change? No, this is the policy for the show. We're a little over 3 weeks out. It just makes sense to keep going back and forth. People want to know the consistency. And so we will keep masks on for the duration of the show for this year.
Perfect. And then I just want to repeat that one, your link. So if folks have questions or comments, or they just need a little bit more information, there is the FAQ on the website, but otherwise they would contact support@gamma.org.
Correct.
Fabulous. Well, I think that in itself is pretty comprehensive.
Absolutely. We're all excited about it. We think it's going to be a fun show. And we think this, obviously masks it makes it harder to do some things, but not other things. And so we've shown that we can live and work together by doing these things, and let's just work together and have a fun show.
Exactly. I've GM'd a game with the mask on. I've been a player in a game with the mask on. I've done board games. The only thing I have never done is run a marathon. So I can speak on the gaming aspect of things, and it is very doable. And I think we're all going to have so much fun. So thank you so much, John, for sharing that.
My pleasure. Thanks for you hosting this, and always a pleasure to see you. And we'll see you in a couple weeks here in Columbus.
Yes, that sounds good. So one more time, folks, if you haven't got your badge, make sure you get that now. Make sure you take a look at event registration. There are going to be things that you want to keep your eyes on. Events do go live on May 21st, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If that's not in your calendar yet, put it on your physical calendar, put it in your digital calendar, write it on your forearm. This is going to be so important if you want to get all the fun games and all the fun events, and you do not want to miss that. So I think that pretty much covers everything. Have fun, stay safe, and thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Origin Spotlight. I have been your host, B. Zelda, and until next week, I'll see you then.